We've got a great look right up here on these trees. I kind of like how we've got all this color in the background, but this one right in front of us doesn't have too much of that green leaf color to it. Okay, welcome back to another video here. This is a nice little, it's a pretty short out and back trail we've got here called Bonnie and Clyde Trail. And the plan is to head out using our Sony A7IV with our 28-70 just kit lens here. And then on the way back, we will swap on our nice 70-200 f2.8 Sony lens to hopefully get a couple different looks of things along the way. I'm gonna start out just with a nice wide shot here. The lighting with these trees is really nice. And I don't really like this orange leaf, so I'm just gonna scoot over and zoom in just a touch to really keep the focus on those trees. It's mid-September right now, so leaves are starting to change color just a little bit here. I'm gonna try another shot, this time vertical. We can incorporate the plants here at the bottom, but then also get that light at the top there. And I think I'll just focus on this dark trunk on the left side there. We've got some really cool little mushrooms down here. Just a little batch of 3 of them. Nothing too fancy here. Really the only thing I'm doing intentionally on this is using these third lines on my camera grid here and lining up the center of one of the mushrooms with that, but not too much technically going on other than that. I really like this moss on the tree, and it looks like there's a little trail outlet here. So I think we can kind of play with this moss a little bit, but also have a nice subject alongside it here with the trail. And we can even get a wide shot because the tree on the right also has got some of this moss as well. Ooh, look at these little berries. Just a couple of them standing out. And this is definitely one where we want this aperture to be pretty high so we can blur everything in the background. It's gonna be a little tough to grab a focus, it seems like. Camera is not liking it. Maybe that'll work. I'm gonna try and get closer now. And so in those moments, I'm not able to grab the focus on what I want. So I just kind of move my camera over and see if I can get a focus on something at a similar depth and then just slide over. I've got some other cool berries here. And again with these, not really doing too much. I want them right in the middle of the frame there, and still using a high aperture to create that blur effect in the background. I really like the wind of this trail here. Again, with that light in the background, can lower our aperture for this one. We've got a great look right up here on these trees. I kind of like how we've got all this color in the background, but this one right in front of us Doesn't have too much of that green leaf color to it. So it kind of surrounds that one center tree, which I like. Let's try again with these berries here. See if we can have some better luck with the focusing here. There we go. And we can bump that aperture back up here. I've got a couple videos going over aperture, ISO, and shutter speed, the exposure triangle. So if you're interested in those and wonder how these settings change the look of an image, be sure to check those out. Got a nice flower here. I'm gonna try one on this top third line, and then another just centered here. And I also like the look of these ones here. It's got some nice leaf texture. I would get closer right now, but the focus just gets a lot harder the closer you are. Ooh, this is a great opening here. And normally I usually walk past stuff like this because it's tough to get a true subject in just kind of this chaos here. But we have this trail down here that we can probably zoom in on a bit and kind of make that the subject of our image here. Hey. And I think what we're gonna do here is find this frame and then just wait for this person to pass as a nice subject for us here. And hopefully you'll be able to see with this video the different things you can look for with different lens sizes. Right now I'm trying to look at these wide shots, and even with the little textures I've been taking photos of, sometimes those get tougher with a longer telephoto lens because you can't get far enough away to get the focus. I like this trunk here. It's a nice little subject for us we can play with. And I want the bend of this trail included as well, which makes it a little tougher just because we don't quite have the room to work with here. But I'm gonna just lean as much as I can. Gonna lower this aperture, bump up this ISO a bunch so we can see our image, and we're as wide as we can get. We'll just snap one like that. Oh, kind of a similar image as the one we just took. We'll go portrait on this one though, just because we've got a nice vertical line here. And I love photos like this of just all these little plants. Lots of patterns right next to each other. Something simple like that. And I think now might be a good opportunity to just do a vertical straight up shot. I'm gonna try one, getting the exposure according to the trees, and then I'm gonna do one lowering everything, getting one exposed to the sky. We've got some great leaves here. Just some nice colors that kind of contrast with one another here. This is a great little trail shot here along just kind of the side of this mountain we're climbing up. Don't know if the trail is as visible as I want it to be, so I'm gonna take a couple steps closer to it. I think I like the other frame better, but that's okay. Could maybe even, well, that's probably a shot for the other lens, maybe on the way back. Here we can do another trail shot, and we'll get this tree as some nice foreground. This is my favorite kind of foreground because it still relates to our image here. The tree is obviously a part of this trail scene we're creating, so it really helps build that story in an image. Oh, this is kind of cool. Just some bird feathers on the edge of this fern here. Just keep that nice and centered. Get that nice blur, again, just because the aperture is as high as we can get it. We can even grab something as simple as just the rocks on the trail. Can sometimes be nice little texture pieces. I think I like it this way more. Something just as simple as this. This is a really cool log here. We can kind of get a focus on the bottom side of it, but still have the eye kind of work through. Maybe we'll even try and grab focus farther down. Cross log. Oh, we can do it on this one here. Even better. Something I like to try every now and then is messing with the shutter speed in nature photography. I don't see it done very much, and I have just been having the urge to try it out. But what you do is you lower your shutter speed a lot. Like I've got mine at, I'll do 130 here, and I get the focus right on the trail here. And then as I'm pressing the shutter down, I'm gonna quickly zoom in or out. Let's try, keep going out here. And just do it little bits at a time, and you should get the trail still in focus, but with kind of a nice blur effect. Got some great leaves here. Again, with just these patterns of all one plant kind of conjoined together here. Oh, this is a great little frame here. We can work with this contrast of textures here, with the rock and the green leaves right next to each other. And if we take a nice look behind me, we've got this trail, but with all these leaves in the foreground here. So this one, I'll raise the aperture up to hopefully get some of that depth shown in the image with that trail in the background, but keeping our focus on these leaves here. It's always good to be on the lookout for different shapes. That's not something you see too much in nature, that kind of like horseshoe look a little bit. Oh, these colors are great. We've seen these plants along the way here, but not quite with this range of colors. I think we'll grab another wide shot here. I want to make sure I'm getting as much as I'm gonna want while I'm still on this lens. Don't want to miss any opportunities.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I got 3 more coming.
All right. Might be able to grab some of these bikers. This looks like a good frame here. Another great trail shot here. Got a nice line of sight down through the trees there. And as I'm walking, the trees are getting a little more sparse, so I think I'll try another open shot. And we've got a nice little trunk there on the trail we just passed. That can be a nice little focal point at the bottom left there.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
One behind me. On the last one.
All right, good to know. Appreciate it. Couple nice subjects for us. Okay, it looks like this is the top of the trail here. So I think what I'll do is I'll swap lenses. We'll head back down and see what kind of different things we can get on the way down. Let's do it. All right, now I have got the 70-200 f2.8 Sony lens. On something like this trail, a wider lens is definitely expected to perform better. Just because the trails are pretty thin, there's not much of a view to really be like zooming into, and all the trees kind of block a lot of the zooming options. But all that being said, we are gonna try and prove that wrong here today. And as you can see, I can just get in really close on this moss, something we couldn't really do before, and get that nice bouquet in the background. And let's try to get really up and close on these flowers now that we can kind of do it from a distance and get our subject perfectly in some nice sharp focus. We can even raise the aperture more than we could before, really get that background blurred nicely for us. And it looks like there's a biker coming through. We should be able to frame this trail in preparation here. Bump our shutter up. Hold and shoot there. Get a couple nice zoomed in shots of our subject. Oh, and we've got some great mushrooms here, which again we can get all up close in now. Create a nice frame around it. It's a nice shot there. And something I really like to do when I've got this lens is just purposefully look at all these little textures while I'm walking. Individual ferns. There's all these little dots which are kind of interesting. That's the thing about even using a zoom lens in a nice tight space like this, is it just allows you to really get in close on the little things. Like this is a nice little shot. We can zoom in on just the edges here. Oh, we've got a nice bridge here that I think we might have missed on the way up. This is not the best close-in shot for us, but I think we can make it work. We've got some great little, I don't even know if these are berries or just little buds or what they are, but we should be able to get in close on them here. And I think I'm gonna stop right here, get down low and try and grab one of just this rock on the trail. I think it could be a nice subject for us. Try and keep it centered, something like that. Okay, so here, what I want to do, we've got these usual ferns and everything, and we have these flowers that I've grabbed on the way up. But what I really want to do with this lens is grab a flower through a lot of other leaves here and just kind of frame it nicely. It's always tough to get the focus on the first piece here. But something like this should work. Then I zoom out just a bit to get that blur from that fern in front of us here. We've got some nice kind of mistletoe-y plants here. Should be able to grab kind of the sharpness of it. Try and capture that in an image. Got a nice shot here. We can catch the edge of this little rock side here. And we can still grab a trail image with this lens. Still wide enough here. Here are these leaves again, and let's go for this area right with this rock here again. Maybe we'll try vertical and get the white part of that rock involved. Not sure what's best here. Couple options. Maybe we try over here where it gets a little lower. That might be the better shot of the batch. Oh, here we go. I've been waiting to get back here, back at this log. I think this time we'll get a little lower and play with these different focal points here. Maybe even lower this a bit. Don't need those focuses to be as sharp. Oh, these are some nice leaves here. I don't know if we've shot those today. Maybe we just grab focus of one of them. Oh, here we go. This is probably a better picture. That moss is much better background. Here we go. This is kind of what I wanted to do earlier, but we just weren't close enough. Even with the lens, we've got limitations. But we've got some nice blurred background because it's so far away. We can just capture the edge of that leaf there. Oh wow, look at these colors here on this leaf. That's definitely something we can capture. There is a spider here. It's always really tough to get a focus. Maybe if I can get it right in front of this red leaf, that'll help the camera out. We saw it there for a second. I'm gonna go to manual. I'm gonna find where it is first. It should be right there. I think we're just too close. Oh, there, we saw it for a second. Here, we'll grab a nice fern shot. I think we did something similar, but never hurts to get another. Just gotta find the right perspective here to get our focus. That's a nice one. I was trying to move that brown leaf to the left a little bit in the frame so that way it had a nice backdrop for it instead of that green behind it. Oh, some nice mushrooms here. We've been seeing those bigger ones, but nothing like these small little brown ones. Getting close on their little world here. And I think this will about do it. We're about to the start of our trail. I think overall, we got some pretty decent pictures with each lens, obviously very different from the other. I think the wider lens tends to be a bit easier in situations like this. And the zoom one, you kind of have to really work for the pictures you want. But overall, I think it went pretty good. There's a nice contrast between the two. And you guys will have to let me know what you prefer for situations like this. But yeah, that'll do it for this one. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.